Hello, this is J183, and it's another episode of Pierre's Path to Glory, or the Pierre Gasly career mode on F1 2016. And let's get it straight into it then. Singapore Grand Prix, and we have Chris giving us some details about some upgrades that we fitted last time out. So it'd be interesting to know what these are. And it is a monkey seat, which improves downforce, so that will make it better, especially around Singapore, which is a downforce heavy circuit. So into the track acclimatization test then, and it looks like an almost fully purple lap, apart from that one green corner in the middle there. Going around the final few corners, it's going to get the purple score quite easily. Lose the back end of it over the curve, but that gets us all 50 resource points for the practice session. And here we have the qualifying pace test. And I'm up on the delta in a minute, not by much though, so it might only be a green score. But even so, that's still plenty of resource points to help improve the Toro Rosso. And yeah, green score gets the target of 9th place. And here we have a qualifying, and Pascal Wehrlein on the first run is getting right in the way, so he's costing me quite a lot of time, and pretty annoying. So hopefully I can improve on the second run. He tries getting out of the way in the worst place on the track to get out of the way in, so that's really helpful, Pascal, thanks for that. And going around the final few corners, I'm not going to it's not going to be the best lap, put it that way. Alonso is currently fastest, and he'll be having a very good result this weekend. And I'm going to come across the line and put it in 6th place, which is behind Vettel, but ahead of Valtteri Bottas. And Alonso's time looks pretty good. Looks like it's quite a fast time actually. So we're in the second run, and I'm already down on the time by about 3/10 through the first sector. So it might not be an improvement unless we can gain a lot of time. But then I hit the wall coming into turn 10, I think this is, or something, and get a yellow front wing. So definitely not going to be an improvement now. So unfortunately, it's going to be 10th at best, and then coming through the next part, and I actually hit the wall even more and spin around, so it's not looking promising if I'm going to be doing that in qualifying session. So qualifying results then, Alonso actually does maintain second place on the grid, only 8 thousandths off Daniel Ricciardo on pole. Hamilton and Verstappen make up the top 4. Perez and Massa, interestingly, didn't set a time, so that's odd. I'm in 10th place, Sainz is just ahead, but let's get into the race.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not. Will we see a new victor crowned today?
So race strategy then, I think we're going for a 2-stop. A 1-stop is top possible, but I think a 2-stop's a safer bet in these circumstances. Starting the ultra softs especially, because that's what I qualified on. Underfuel it quite a lot, and let's go into the race start then. From 10th place on the grid, 5 red lights, and away we go. And it looks like a decent start. Rosberg gets a good start from 7th compared to Raikkonen, but it's got bogged down. I try and overtake Button straight away, and Rosberg is the next car. We go for a little lunge and hop over the curb, make up to 8th, and alongside Sebastian Vettel now. And it looks like it's going to be very, very close between myself and Vettel. It's very close between Sainz and Raikkonen up ahead as well. So very interesting. We're making like a Toro Rosso Ferrari checkerboard sort of thing. But Vettel's going to go slow through turn 5. I'm going to try and get a very good exit, put it up into Rich probably, and get the slipstream of Vettel, move to the inside, but then he just gets rid of the gap that we're going for. So I'm going to go for a lunge maybe on Vettel, no, think better of it, and then over the curve it, Button's going to get a good exit, but can't make it stick for now. And then on to lap 2. Vettel is still the next car ahead, and Sainz, Raikkonen, Alonso's still 3rd, but he's having a lot of trouble getting his race pace sorted because he's holding up this big train. Ricciardo and Hamilton, I think it is, have run away. I go for a lunge on Vettel up at the inside into the over the Anderson Bridge, and Vettel just about gets a good enough exit, but I'm going to get back in the slipstream and hopefully overtake the German in the Ferrari. It goes to the outside, he almost squeezes me off, but not quite. I'm just going to try it all the way around the outside, and that'll be a lovely move if it comes off, but it doesn't quite happen. And it looks like I've got the pace over Vettel, but can't quite get past on this tight and twisty circuit, unfortunately. So that's 8th place for the time being still. But then on to lap 3, the very next lap. DRS is now enabled, so that should make it slightly easier to get past. I've got DRS on Vettel. He hasn't got DRS because we battled and lost quite a lot of time to Sainz in 6th. But that's going to be quite an easy move by the looks of things. Pull alongside into the braking zone, brake later, and force him out and take 7th place away. So that is always nice to see, up into 7th. Only just behind my teammate Carlos Sainz now. Well, let's look at a replay to start. And in the background, the Manor gets a good start, so does Rosberg, and Alonso bogs down, and then Verstappen comes alongside him. It's 3 wide with Hamilton, Alonso and Verstappen. There's a bit of contact. There's a bit of contact between Button and Rosberg as well. I go for the inside on Vettel. The 2 Renaults are in the background are going quite wide. There's a Manor only just behind the Williams of Bottas there in 12th placing that is. So that'll be good if he can keep that up. I think it's Verline. But then you can see Sainz and Raikkonen in the forefront, and then myself and Vettel in the background, making very, very dicey moves. And the cars do look spectacular under these spotlights, to be honest. Like, the shine off them is just ridiculous to look at on this game. The graphics are really good, and that's quite a lot of props to Codemasters for that. But here's a replay from Alonso, and he just bogs down quite a lot compared to Ricciardo. And then Verstappen pulls alongside on the left, Hamilton pulls alongside on the right, and it's 3 wide. Alonso has to make a bit of a squeeze on Verstappen. Hamilton goes right on the outside though, bangs on everyone, which is very nice to see for his fans. And Alonso in 3rd place still, so he'll be hoping to keep that up for the remainder of this race. But I'm in 6th place now, so a few people are pitted, and Vettel looks like he's going to have DRS on me, and I don't have any DRS to defend with, so it looks like it's going to be child's play for Vettel getting 6th place back, and yeah, he does, unfortunately. So after all that battling earlier in the race, a few hours later, Vettel just DRSs me back and completely takes the position. So hopefully I can just hang on to his rear end and make it stick the next time. But we've gone to pit stops now, and Fernando Alonso is out of the race actually, interestingly, and here it is. I think we've got some team radio.
GP2 engine. GP2. Ah!
So very unfortunate there for Alonso to have that engine failure after a very, very strong start and to this race, and a strong weekend for him in qualifying with that 2nd place on the grid. But unfortunately his GP2 engine lets him down, and he's out of this race now, so that's an extra position for me, so I'm not complaining. But on to lap 6, virtual safety car. I'm considering pitting, and I'm not quite sure because the virtual safety car's about to end, so it wouldn't actually be a free pit stop. But Vettel dives into the pits, so I'm going to do the same, follow him in, and hopefully, because I don't want him to undercut me too much, so I'm going to follow him in, change onto the super soft tyres as he's going to do, I reckon, and just match whatever Ferrari do, because their strategists are normally good. Oh wait, I forgot about real life. But so we're going to put super soft tyres on, and Vettel's going to stay ahead after he was ahead anyway, but that's to be expected. I'm down to 2nd to last place now, only Jenson Button is behind, who's just behind us in the pit lane as well. So this will be an interesting little thing now, because me and Vettel are going to have to fight for the traffic together. Hopefully I can take advantage of Vettel. And here we have lap 8. We've not actually caught the traffic yet, but I've got the DRS of Vettel. I look for a lunge, but it doesn't quite make it work. We've both undercut Carlos Sainz actually, so Sainz is right there. I'm alongside him, Vettel's overtaken him already, and Sainz just about sees me off for the time being, but Sainz has lost out quite a lot there for the undercut, because myself and Vettel are right with him now, where we were about 3 seconds back. But we're now getting hemmed in by Marcus Ericsson. I think this is in 13th place, in the slowest car on the grid in the Sauber, in this career mode, is the slowest anyway. I go for a massive lunge on Carlos Sainz, and just about get alongside, but then he turns in and completely puts me in a wall there. I can't believe that. Carlos Sainz didn't even realise I was there, just put me in a wall, and I've lost part of my front wing. And that is pretty annoying, to say the least, for teammates to be colliding like that. And now we have Marcus Ericsson and Sebastian Vettel alongside each other. They're getting held up massively. I'm going to look for the inside on Carlos Sainz, get him back, take 15th back, get alongside Ericsson as well, but he's almost put me in the wall as well, so AI just don't have much awareness. I make a lot of contact with Ericsson, almost put in a wall, make contact with Sainz as well, so this is just not a brilliant showing of skill, and it's 3 wide going to Singapore Sling, so I get out of that as soon as I can. Sainz makes contact with Ericsson, it's just carnage everywhere. Ricciardo's alongside me, and I don't know what's happening. I'm behind Carlos Sainz. There's 6 cars right there. I go for a lunge on it. Oh, and that's not gone well. I went for a lunge on Ericsson and then clouted the back of Sainz, spun around, and now I'm 18th again. So that's just not a really good turn of events. And the show of driving there was not very skillful, I'll admit. But never mind. There were about 6 cars separated. Like, you could put a blanket over us all. I go for a lunge on Ericsson. This is just getting ridiculous how bad this driving is. But made the lunge stick with a lot of contact involved, but never mind. Yeah, there are about 6 cars separated by nothing at all, so pretty amazing that you could fit like a blanket over us through this section right here, and that is just always going to not end well in Singapore. But then I go for a lunge on the other Sauber, and NASA just about holds it on the outside actually, so pretty difficult thing to do there from Felipe Nasser, but he manages to hold the position. But I'm just going to dive bomb him into the next corner. He gets to go wide, I hop over the curb. But 15th place now. Rosberg is about 3 seconds up the road. Now it's Haryanto as the next car, so that should be pretty easy to get past. But it looks like it's going to be difficult to even score points at this point because I'm so far behind the challengers of Sainz and Rosberg and all them. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'll relish in, hopefully, and get back towards them. But now Haryanto is the next car, but I'm actually going to pull into the pit lane because from this point, Supersofts can go to the end, and this front wing is just costing me too much time. So I can just pit from 14th place. Rosberg is also in the pits, just ahead. Get them to fix the front wing. I'm going to drop back behind a lot of cars again, but hopefully I'll make the most of it and undercut. Like if the undercut is strong enough, I'm able to get back with Vettel and Sainz and all of them who are battling up ahead, but that might not be possible. But Perez is the next car. As he started from the back, he hasn't really made it work. I'm not sure where Massa is, as he didn't qualify either. But I'm going to fall back behind Sergio Perez into 18th place, so it's unfamiliar territory to say the least from the last few rounds in this career mode. But straight off the back of the victory in Italy, it's sort of crashed me back down to earth. It's battling Saubers and Manners all race, but never mind. I set a purple lap on lap 19, and there's a few cars in the pit lane. Perez is about to overtake one of them, and it's Haryanto actually. So we've undercut Haryanto, so that's something to cheer about, obviously, because that's a really massive challenge. But we're both up into 17th. There's nothing too bad about overtaking someone, but now Sergio Perez is the next car, and it looks like I'm going to be dicing up a move, plus lining up a move, I should say, not dicing. But Sergio Perez has the Mercedes engine, I only have a Ferrari engine, but it's got quite a few upgrades on it, so it should be quite close. And it looks like I'll be able to lunge it into this corner once again, as I did to Felipe Massa earlier. And that is 16th place. Button's the next car, so he's actually racing for position because we both finished our strategies. So Button is the next car. I set a purple second sector while I'm at it. But now Jenson Button it looks like I've got the pace and I can't be held up through here, so I'm going to lunge it. That is another awful move, but I've absolutely lunged it, and that is 14th place taken away from Jenson Button. And now Esteban Gutierrez is the next car, so he's in a slow Haas and he's a slow driver, so should be able to make this stick quite easily. But there we go, lunge into turn 1. How many dive bombs is it possible to make in a 50% race? But I think I'm about to set the record here. And that is 13th place. Pascal Wehrlein is the next car, battling with Johnny and Palmer, but unfortunately this only goes to 11th, so it looks like points will be difficult because my tyres are getting to the end of their life, and the car in 10th right now is Felipe Massa, and Wehrlein's actually going for a move on Palmer, so this will help me out a bit because they'll slow each other up, and they're in slow cars anyway. But Wehrlein actually sees out Johnny and Palmer for 11th place, but I'm going to do a double dive bomb, put Wehrlein in a wall to be honest, but he actually holds the position. He almost puts me in a wall as payback, but that's fair enough. I think I undercut him through this corner towards the Singapore sling. We're side by side, and I should just be able to see this out, but the amount of straight line speed is ridiculous. Make a lot more contact with him. But alongside, I've hit the wall once again, so it's like bumper cars here, the amount of times I've hit the barrier. But then lap 31, unfortunately Massa was too far ahead, so it feels like a very, very long time since I've not got points, but Hamilton's won the race. I'm going to come through in 11th, which is disappointing, but it's going to happen some races, so that's not too good.
Bad luck. It just wasn't our day today.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. And now let's take
So
a look
it's
at
Lewis Hamilton wins the race with Verstappen and Raikkonen. Valtteri Bottas with a strong result in 4th for Williams. Vettel in 5th, Ricciardo 6th, that's qualifying in pole, which is disappointing. Rosberg in 7th, where he started, Hülkenberg 8th, Sainz and Massa, and then myself in 11th. Only Alonso DNFs, and so unfortunately it's the first time since Australia actually that I've not scored points, and that means that Vettel has overtaken me in the championship once again. Verstappen's not too far behind, but it looks like I'm firmly within the top 6 now, so that's always nice to see. Hülkenberg also overtakes Massa for 11th place, along with Perez and Alonso he overtakes as well. Wehrlein is still above a lot of drivers with 14 points for Manor, which is a notable mention that he's doing extremely well this season, and still only 2 Saubers yet to score, and that is 4th place still in the Constructors. Mercedes have pretty much won it at this point unless something major happens. and only Sauber haven't scored, as I said, and resource points then, it's not too many. We've only got 351, which won't be enough for an upgrade, I don't think. And rivalry, I've been absolutely demolished by Verstappen, because I was given the rival on legend and then I switched to ultimate, and he's absolutely banged on me. But yeah, that's the end of this video then, and leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and this is J183, and I will see you next time.